Everything that you have in your life right now, you manifested that. I started with beliefs. Manifesting really starts with your beliefs. If you believe something is possible, it becomes possible. The brain starts searching for ways to find it to be possible when you start changing your beliefs.
You feel like you manifested that life?
I've absolutely manifested everything.
What's going on? This is a Monty channel with Season Awakening Show,
And this is Deanna Moore with Manifesting Minds.
and we're here to have a higher conversation with you. We both come from a cult background, so we're more free thinkers, more in the general esoteric information. So we're here to have a quick conversation with you. And Dina, you're an expert in manifestation, so I figured that we haven't talked about that really. So yeah, do you mind sharing your story with us?
Okay, so manifesting, I think that's probably something that people have heard about before. It's like this mystical woo woo, think happy thoughts and magic happens, and then it doesn't work.
Yeah, and I'm curious to know, is it even real? Like, is it even like something that's actually a real thing?
So, when I first started diving into manifesting and creating your own reality, it was probably about 2005 ish. So, probably about 20, 21, 22 years ago. And I was still neck deep in the religion. So, obviously, the whole concept of, manifesting anything was demonic, basically. So, I kind of kept it on the low about what I was learning. But when I started learning about this idea of being able to visualize what you want and having it appear, being that I was in a cult, I kind of would relate it to even principles from the religion, like when Jesus said things like "ask and you shall receive." Even saying if you have faith the size of a mustard seed, you could tell the mountain to go from here to there. When Jesus healed people and said, "Your faith has made you well." And then I was deep into neuroscience and the power of the mind with the neuro linguistic programming. And as I was combining those two things, I mean, I could kind of see how religion kind of fit into it. At the time, I even remember thinking, this is how God blesses people. This is how
Mhm.
he answers prayers. It's through this energetic system that is set up, and he's just working with these energetic principles that the Bible never really bothered to explain. But we've reached a point with quantum physics right now where it's absolutely 100% not hocus pocus mumbo jumbo. There's very specific energetic laws that you can use to really create any reality that you want. And the only thing that stops you are your own thoughts, your own limiting beliefs of what you believe is possible or what's not possible. Because I think one thing that people don't usually completely understand is that manifesting isn't just about, okay, let me manifest $1 million, or let me manifest this property in Ecuador. We are constantly creating our own reality, positive and negative. So everything that you have in your life right now, you manifested that. And I think sometimes we have a hard time wrapping our mind around that because, like, why would we manifest divorce or poverty, or why would we do that
Mhm.
on purpose? And the reason is because we didn't come with an owner's manual. We don't know what our brain is doing. We've never been taught the power of the mind and how to harness it. So it's just kind of like running wild. It just, whatever the thoughts that you're focusing on, the energy that you're putting into that, we are creating that. And that might be one of the biggest stumbling blocks of being able to manifest and create your life. You have to accept this idea that you manifested the negative too. And sometimes I think people get this, like, I don't want to think that. I don't want to believe that I caused this. But truly becoming a manifester and a creator of your life requires you to accept that you've done everything. You've created everything. You're not a victim of anything. For some reason, or maybe not, just being on autopilot, you've created the reality that you have. So you already have the skills. Now you just have to learn to use them on purpose.
So how did you take this concept and then how did you first apply it or realize it was like a real thing? What was the first experience or case studies you had with yourself?
It was early, it was in the beginnings, it was early 2005. I was taking the principles and I started using them for myself, specifically with finances, because I had a young family and finances were super super tough, especially in the religion while, you're doing full-time service and stuff like that. And so I started with beliefs. Manifesting really starts with your beliefs. If you believe something is possible, it becomes possible. The brain starts searching for ways to find it to be possible when you start changing your beliefs. So, some of the limiting beliefs that we might have are I don't have an education, or I don't have any experience, or good things don't happen to people like me,
Mhm.
or I came from a family of poverty. Well, as long as you have those beliefs, and the belief is a funny word too, because when I say the word belief, people will often say, well, that's not a belief, that's true.
Right.
That's true. Well, it's true for you because your brain has the obligation to prove you right. So we're constantly filtering information that proves our beliefs to be accurate. So if we believe that something is too good to be true, it will be. It will be too good to be too good to be true.
As you said that, I kind of thought about a Ford said that whether you're right or wrong, it's
Exactly. Whether you think
what.
you can or you think you
Yeah,
can't.
that's the quote.
Yep, exactly. Exactly. So understanding the power of every thought in your mind is going to create that reality. And, so obviously we're talking about manifesting, but there's other categories that we're very familiar with this concept, like the placebo effect. So with the placebo effect, you can give somebody a sugar pill and the body will heal because they believe they're taking a medication.
Mhm.
The opposite is also true. There's another phenomenon called the nocebo effect, and that's when somebody can get like a misdiagnosis, like they've been given a cancer diagnosis because blood samples or whatever gets mixed up in the lab, and they get given this diagnosis, and they actually develop the disease. They actually will
Mm,
develop it when it wasn't their diagnosis even to begin with. So the power of the of suggestion, the power of what the mind and the body has the ability to do, we are not taught that on a daily basis, or maybe we're taught like on this conceptual level, but not the practical level. I mean, there's a big difference between knowing that, oh, our thoughts are so powerful too. Shit, my thoughts are so powerful. I'm creating everything. Everything that's going on in our mind, even I've spent a lot of years working with people with health issues too. So as soon as somebody says, diabetes runs in my family, or everybody in my family is overweight, or everybody gets cancer, whatever those beliefs are, the mind actually has the ability to accidentally create those circumstances for us.
to make it true, as it were.
Unfortunately, yeah, yeah. So
Gotcha.
manifesting becomes a science of really analyzing what your beliefs are, analyzing what's in your head, and saying, okay, wait a second, do I want this reality?
Mm,
Do I like this belief? Especially like when it comes to health, do I want to believe that things are hereditary? I mean, why does an entire family get diabetes? Well, maybe it's because they all have the same thoughts going on in their mind.
yep.
I could go on tangents about that too, because like I said, over the last 25 years, I've worked a lot with health issues. And not only do the same thoughts run in the family line, but a lot of times the same emotions run through the family line.
Mm.
So is something really genetic, or is it a product of their thoughts and their energy creating this similar dynamic? And then, modern science will say, oh, well, this is hereditary. Maybe not, because quantum physics says anything is possible. Healing's possible. Everything is possible once you start working your mind around that ability that everything is changeable. Everything.
So once you sort of understood the fundamentals, what did you, I mean, how did you see it unveil itself in your own life? I mean, I know you're in Ecuador now, you have a nice house.
Mhm.
Did you
Mhm.
manifest it? Do you feel like you manifested that life?
I've absolutely manifested everything. I've manifested everything. When I left the religion at 38 years old, I had nothing but a backpack,
Mm,
literally. I lost every friend I ever knew. I lost over 50 family members. I didn't have a career. I didn't have an education. I had nothing. I literally had nothing except my brain, except the concepts of being able to manifest, except these concepts that if I believe something is possible, I can create that. I believe that. So, one of the first things when I first left the religion that I started manifesting was a circle of people that I trusted. One of the beliefs coming out of the religion a lot of times is you can't trust people in the world.
mhm.
Everybody's out to get you. Everybody's out for their own best interests. Okay, well, if you're taking this theory of manifestation, what kind of life am I going to be surrounded by if I believe that?
Mhm.
I'm gonna create that reality. I'm gonna create people, I'm gonna attract people that screw you over, rip you off, take advantage of you. And that see, that becomes like a cemented reality for people. And they're like, no, see, it's not a belief, it's true. Well, we have to understand that we are filtering for the information that makes that true. Yeah, I've said this a bajillion times, and I'm gonna say it again. The brain takes in 11 million bits of data per second.
Mhm.
And it can only unconscious mind can only filter 40,000, which means you discarded 10,960,000 bits of information. You discarded, I can't even do the math on that, like, 100 times
Right.
what you processed. So what did you throw away?
A lot of information.
Yeah, the people that you can trust, the opportunities that were right in front of you. There was a social experiment that some college students did. They set up a table in a corner and they put a jar of money out. It had like all these cash, all these bills in it and stuff. And they put a sign that says free cash, just take it, free cash. So they're sitting on a corner like New York City or something like that. All these people going by. Do you know no one took the money? Or people would come by and they'd be like, what's the catch? Where's the strings?
Right.
Because see, our mentality a lot of times is it's too good to be true. Nothing is free. And so it's literally we could have a golden opportunity right in front of us and you won't see it.
Yep.
You're trapped to those beliefs that things like that don't happen to me. So once you start creating those beliefs, that's a huge piece of manifesting. But it's not all of it. When it comes to manifesting, you also have to start to understand that we're not just manifesting our thoughts, we're manifesting who we are. It's at an identity level. We don't manifest things. We manifest something that matches our identity and the energy that we're bringing to the world. So this is why a lot of times manifesting doesn't work for people or why they continue having problems with work and relationship problems even though they're trying to manifest. It's because the belief in the words alone is not enough. You can sit in front of the mirror all day long and go, I'm wealthy, I'm thin, and I'm beautiful. And this voice in your back of your head's like, no, you're not. What the hell are you talking about? You're lying. It's not, that's not it. It's the energy, the emotion that you have has to be in alignment with those thoughts. So this is the reason I can't remember what the statistics are. It's like 80% of people who win the lottery lose it all within like 2 years.
Yeah, most of them do.
Yeah, and the reason is because the external world is always a reflection of what your beliefs are about yourself and the energy about yourself.
So if they have a
So,
negative viewpoint about money or they have a negative viewpoint about wealth or something, they're going to go back to
yep,
that baseline.
yep, they're going to go back to the external reality is going to shape itself to go back to that baseline reality.
Mhm.
So, this is a one-time thing, good things never happen to me, or worse yet, specifically when it comes to money, we have like comfort levels. Some people's comfort level is 40 to 60,000. Some people's comfort level is 100 to 150,000. Some
Mhm.
people's comfort level is 500,000. So when I'm coaching somebody specifically in the category of money, you can see it on their face. How much money are you making right now? Okay, I'm making $120,000 a year. Okay, how would you feel about making 500,000? And they'll be like, that would be great. Yeah, that's not what your face is saying.
Mhm.
That's not what your body is saying. Your body's saying that's too much. I can't handle that. And that's why they don't manifest it.
And also with religion, there's this, especially the Christian religion, there's this sort of feeling that being in poverty is close to godliness, that you don't want to make money because you're not going to be saved or your salvation is tied to how much money you're able to accumulate.
Yep. The more
So there's that
suffering,
as well. Yep.
there's that scripture that says it's easier for a camel to get through the eye of a needle than for a rich man to get into the kingdom of God. Yeah. So we have
Right.
society itself will have all kinds of limiting beliefs about that.
All sorts of programs and
That
right.
wealthy people are greedy, that the only way you can get a lot of money is if you do nasty stuff. So, I mean, you can see that if you have those beliefs in your mind, how is your mind's job is to protect you. So, how is your mind ever going to let you become a bad person? It won't. So we have to start working with all of those thoughts to clean them up because the truth is they're not true. It's a construct of our brainwashing.
So I want to know exactly what you did when you started manifesting like your life that you have now. Like you went from zero friends, zero
Mhm.
influence, Is your relationships, I imagine you were still in the United States before you moved to Ecuador.
Yeah. Yeah.
How'd you end up there?
So, so because of my background in the cult, I realized that I would probably not very comfortably be able to retire in the United States anytime soon,
Mhm.
especially because I was so far behind the curve. And I know I'd always liked the lifestyle. So this is something else when it comes to manifesting. Sometimes what we want to manifest is very vague. So we'll say things like, I want to be happy, or,
I
you know,
wanna
I want.
retire, I wanna travel or whatever.
Exactly. And if that's literally like going to a restaurant and saying, I want food.
Right.
You have no idea what the restaurant's gonna give you with when all you do is say food. They could give you 1 French fry. They could give you 1 grain of rice. You see? So the universe, the way it works is you have to be very, 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 very specific with what you want. And I was very specific. I knew I wanted to live outside of the country. I knew I wanted somewhere around 30 to 40 acres. I knew I wanted to have a river running through it. I knew I wanted it to be up against public land where I'd have thousands of acres right next to me. I was very specific that I wanted it to be about 15 minutes from town. I mean, I was very, 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 very detailed with exactly what it is that I wanted.
Mm.
And I thought about it a lot. And we have to be, when you're truly working on manifesting something, your energy has to match what it is that you're matching. So you can't have the image in your mind and feel like this longing, like,
I
oh, I
wanted
wish,
her.
yeah, I wish some, because that's not an energetic match. The feeling of wanting or needing something is yucky. You can feel it. If you want something and you need something that you don't have, you can feel it kind of in your chest or in your stomach.
Mhm.
Not a positive feeling. And it's the feeling that will create more of the same feeling.
Mm.
So as long as you're feeling that lack, I don't have, I want this, I wish I could have that, you won't manifest.
God, please bless me with
Yep.
this.
Yep, exactly. You won't get it because the energy's not matching it. So you have to enjoy it before it happens. You have to feel it before it happens. You have to be grateful and loving and enjoy it even though you don't have it yet. And I think that's a part that people have a hard time with too. How do you enjoy something that you don't have? What if you don't get it?
How do you trick yourself into believing that you have it when you don't, I guess is the
Okay.
question.
Okay, so the question is the universe doesn't know the difference.
Right.
The universe doesn't know the difference. You know the difference, but the universe is listening to the frequency and it's matching frequencies, and the universe doesn't know you're lying. So when you feel gratitude for the 40 acres that you don't have yet, the universe doesn't understand that you don't have it yet. It's looking to match and align. That's it. So we have to get out of our own way. We have to get out of our own head and not, there's a lot of training that has to go into our own mind and our own voices to say, be quiet. I'm working over here.
Mm.
Yes, it's not real, yet, but we also did a video on time. Is time even real? Which is another concept that comes in with manifesting, because a lot of times our brain will want to put things in a timeline 6 months out, 9 months out, whatever. And there's not really any need for that either, because all realities are in the instant, all realities are available in the moment. So when you start to understand this concept that time's not as linear as we thought, so let yourself imagine the future. Let yourself enjoy the future, because that's how science works. Our pea little brains that have been taught to focus on such concrete things struggles with that concept. So we really have to open up our consciousness to this idea that what we've been brainwashed to think is real is 1%. There's a whole other 99% out there that we have access to. And part of it's faking it, because it's only the 1% of your brain that's faking it. The rest of it is all already in existence. It's already in existence, and the universe is looking to match those frequencies.
So it really sounds like the reality is bendable, actually. You can kind of mold reality to fit whatever you want in a certain.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And we do it all the time. We'll do it in simple things like, say, you think of somebody that you haven't talked to, and then all of a sudden they call you on the phone. Or I mean, we do things like that all the time. It's because there is this interconnectedness of everything. So let me go back to that 11 million bits of data per second that's coming into the brain, because not only are we receiving 11 million bits of data per second, but we're broadcasting at the same time. So if you think of every human alive receiving and broadcasting 11 million bits of data per second, how long does it take before those thoughts and those energy patterns start connecting, even if it's with somebody across the other side of the world? Really, the truth is it's instantaneous. We
Right. I
may
was
not
going to say like,
do it. Yeah, yeah.
mhm.
We may ignore it, or call it a coincidence. But the thing is that there's this energetic network all around us that's working whether you realize it or not. You don't have to
Mhm.
realize that it's there or believe it, for as far as that goes. You don't have to believe that it's real. It's still there working for you or against you. So learning this is really about opening up to that other 99% of the energetic possibilities that are out there, and going, man, instead of leaving my life to random chance, let me do this on purpose.
This is really great information. If someone wants to like manifest something simpler or just get started, like you said that it might be challenging to go from like 0 to 1 million. What's a small way somebody can sort of play around with this idea?
One of the first exercises that I start teaching people how to do is to ask for a gift from the universe every morning.
Mhm.
Just ask the universe for a gift. It doesn't have to be anything big. Maybe it's 10 cents, maybe it's $5, maybe it's somebody who buys you a coffee, and feel grateful for it from the morning. Because gratitude is the one of the hugest keys to having success in manifesting anything in your life, is being grateful. Being grateful for the abundance of oxygen, being grateful for the abundance of food, dirt, sunshine, whatever.
Your bed, the roof over your head.
Exactly, because again, when you're feeling that feeling of gratitude, the universe isn't there with a notebook judging what category it is or how you feel it. No, no, no. All it is receiving that broadcast of gratitude, and it will start giving you more things to be grateful for. A lot of times people do have a hard time wrapping their head around manifesting the big things. So manifest something small. Manifest a gift from the universe today. Give me something today, and thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And people will start noticing, wow, you know what? I did manifest this, or I did get this. And I think too it's because your brain starts filtering for it. Maybe those things were there all along, but we weren't appreciative, we weren't grateful. And so this is not just about manifesting and creating a life, it's really about changing your energetic state, not just so that your physical world changes, but so that your health improves, so that you have lower blood pressure, so that you have healthier relationships. I mean, like, there's no downside to shifting your energy to gratitude. There's none.
As you were sort of explaining, I was thinking like when you have a like let's say somebody buys a red Mercedes Benz, as soon as
Mhm.
they buy that car, they see 1,000 red Mercedes driving
Exactly.
around, whatever it may
Exactly.
be. The cars are already there, but your awareness was not tuned into that frequency.
Exactly, exactly. That's an excellent example. So what you're really talking about doing is training your frequency, training your brain to start looking for the opportunities that have been there right in front of you all the time.
Okay.
Just like the social experiment where they had the money in the jar, like literally nobody took it. And they're like begging people, they're like, there's free money here. And people are like,
No thanks.
no. How many opportunities have we missed out on because we weren't looking for them?
Makes you wonder.
Hmm.
Definitely does.
Yep.
Well, this has been a good manifestation one-on-one conversation. Maybe we'll have a follow-up and we can get more in depth into practices or things that someone can do to really have a tangible result.
Okay.
And yeah, there's a Monty channel with hard conversations. And that's Dina Moore.
With manifesting minds.
Yes, and my show is Seas Awakening. Please like, subscribe if you enjoyed this conversation. Leave a comment. Leave a comment about a topic that you'd like us to discuss in a future episode. And we'll see you soon. Thanks.